I'm Andre Lazar. Welcome to Dudes and Dominoes. Y'all know what it is. Let's go! Hey, welcome to the Dudes and Dominoes podcast. You here in the Praise Cave, man, with your host, Andre Lazar. We just here having a good time, man, about to slap some bones. This podcast, this is our inaugural podcast. Of course, what we're here to do, we just want to share with you all. What we're here to do is just provoke thought. We're going to let you know you can accomplish anything. It just don't happen by happen chance. What it does, it takes perseverance, it takes information, and of course, it takes faith. Faith without works, yes, for sure, it's dead. Hey, I'm Andre Lazar. Got my co-host in the building, Shooby Doo.
Yes, sir. I started everything with a group prayer, much love, and it's my birthday weekend. So excuse me.
That's what's up. Hey, look, and then we got my boy Bobby G walking. He gonna be up in here with us all day, all night.
You had the wrong person.
Then, of course, Dr.
All day, every day. Yes.
And then, listen, our special guest for today is going to be he's an entrepreneur, he's a young brother. For the topic that we're going to discuss today, before we slap some bones, his name is Jake. Nah, he's not the one from State Farm, but he's our guy, Jake. We brought him in because what we're going to discuss today, we know what's going on in this country right now. It's all kind of race relations, race issues. We got 45 is going nuts up in the White House and all kind of stuff. So what we want to do, man, we just want to just talk about it because we gotta heal ourselves and get up out of this situation. And we want to have the best information to do that with. So we brought my man Jake from State Farm to come to the building. Jake, introduce yourself. Talk about your podcast. Talk about all that.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jake Barcelona. I am here with the Dudes and Dominoes podcast. We're killing it here. I have my own podcast. It's called Verified with Jake Barcelona. It's basically a podcast about me and anyone I want to bring on. Andre Turner, Mr. Turner's son here, is one of my best friends, pretty much a brother to me, and he's been on many times. It's a comedy podcast. We just joke around, and I want to bring some love and some information from here to there, and I'd love to gather some info for this. So I'm very excited.
So that's what up. Without further ado, see the special guest. Jake, you gotta wash the dishes. Hey, before we get started, as Jake begins to wash the dishes, as Jake is washing these dishes, listen, we're gonna give y'all a tip for some Dominoes before it's over with. Cause I know some of y'all busters at the crib and can't really play. Yeah, so we're gonna give you a couple tips so that you can go back and you can do a little something with the domino table. Yeah. But without further ado, man, let's talk about this racial stuff, man. How y'all feel about it? I'm Bobby Mack. You go.
Now, first, before you said that, now when you wash the dominoes, you say we're gonna get some tips.
Yeah.
Jake, you can't be flipping the dominoes. And then don't even wash it anymore. I know this is 2-3 right here.
You paid attention to no other domino but that. Jake, you can't come in here cheating.
Do a good job, Jake.
So actually, Jake watched in the game of domino. Everybody's supposed to watch this, so y'all know. Now, race relations, man. That's the topic. That's what I wanted to discuss today, man. I wanted to talk about what's going on. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to bring Jake in, not just because he's white, but because he's Caucasian. So I did want to bring him in just so he can have a different perspective of what's happening today. So Jake, matter of fact, I'm gonna start with you, Jake. You tell me, man, what do you think about what you see going on when you see somebody, a black man, get stepped on his neck and choked to death where he calling out for his mom?
Now, I mean, obviously there are so many opinions going on. It's like next to impossible to gather one organically without some outside influence. And me coming from obviously a white family, it's hard to be so responsible with it because I feel like every move I make could be offensive in some way.
Wow.
And I don't know.
That's a statement.
It's hard to, because I never would ever want to be that way, you know. But I feel like, I feel like with a lot of my background, because I grew up, all my neighbors were black and Hispanic. I never really had white neighbors growing up. That's the neighborhood we lived in, and I never thought anything of it. Everyone in my school was either black or Hispanic. I had a handful of white friends. It just wasn't uncommon to me, you know. And when I went to, I moved to an all-white, pretty much neighborhood, and it became a thing where it was more.
Jake, you gotta be able to play.
Multitask.
Yeah.
Number 6 is
This
too.
is Dominoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead, cause I hear you.
Yeah, we're gonna connect. We're gonna connect.
But
Long story short is just, I feel like every move, a lot of people, especially white people that are try to tiptoe, make giant mistakes because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tiptoe. And I feel like when people are trying to be too careful, they make the most mistakes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So when you say, now my question to you is, I don't want to start drilling you, but my question is, what do you mean by being too careful?
Like, I feel like when I was talking to Andre about it,
That's my son.
yeah.
Okay.
And he gave me a really good perspective. He was like, you know, because I told him that, I was like, I feel like I want to be too careful. I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to post too many things on social media or too little.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, it's not about how much you try to do. It's like the impact of the things that you do actually follow through with, like whether it's, you know, posting one thing
That's
or
good.
calling a friend of yours, or like, you know, checking up on somebody that is a big impact, you know. And I see people like the protesters and everything.
Give me my 5.
I feel like a lot of them are white.
10 to get on the board, man.
No, 10 to get on the board. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
10 to get in.
Okay.
10 to get 5 afterward.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, okay. Go ahead, Jay.
But a lot of the protesters that I see are like, I feel like a lot of the rioting and like the violence is coming from like a lot of white people. And I don't understand why they seem like almost like they're angrier, you know.
Okay.
And I'm like,
And you don't get it.
I don't understand, like, 'cause it's not anything, it's not them that's being oppressed. you
Well,
know?
from what I see, it's criminal activity that goes on with the looting. These are people that are opportunists.
Okay.
And they are, and I
This is
don't.
good. Go ahead.
No. I've seen it firsthand. And I don't think any of you all have seen it firsthand. I worked at 63rd and Ashland on the CTA. And I saw a group of about 75 to 100 people rip down steel doors to get into a liquor store that they've been going to for decades.
Right.
And the only thing that I saw was it wasn't no protest, it wasn't no George Floyd involved in that. It was straight criminal activity. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
And I felt like I could be vulnerable to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now,
What was the
with that-
race of the majority of the riders?
At 63rd and Ashland?
with
Ain't
that
no,
being said,
ain't
that's
no,
all black.
no, I said
First
60,
But with
I
that
said
being said-
63rd and Ashland. Ain't nothing but black people over there.
But with that being said, though, I'll say this though.
And I ain't, okay, go ahead.
Nah. With that being said, that's good. But I don't want to get past this thought though.
Who up next?
This thought about riding and things of that nature. So my boy, he has a store on 71st in Crandon. So you know that's east, right? It ain't no, but that's hood. They tore up the Family Dollar. They tore up the whole street. It was somebody had the wherewithal, and they started plastering black-owned business on this window, black-owned business on that window, and his window they never got touched. So never got touched. His businesses never got touched. One thing about when change is occurring, I believe that sometimes revolution is gonna be uncomfortable. And that's not saying that this person is right or this person is wrong. What I'm saying is the actions were gonna take place.
Right.
And what it did was it brought attention to the world.
Absolutely.
Ignorance out of anger.
And the anger is justifiable anger.
You up, Jay?
Because I've been oppressed for so long. What you think, G?
Yeah, I don't like to look at it as called criminal activity. If you want to get somebody's attention, you can't whisper. Sometimes you got to make some noise. And for so much, all of this kumbaya and silent protest, you can kumbaya every day and go home peacefully, and it's off the news in a day.
Yes, it is.
But this stuff continue to happen.
Yes. Absolutely.
So it's not a riot, it's a rebellion.
Yes, it is.
It's a revolt.
Okay.
And you never get a major change without a revolt. The Boston Tea Party, was they tearing stuff up?
What?
You can't kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. No, you gotta do a little more than that sometimes.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
you really want some change.
Yeah, that's true.
Now the number one way, all we are is in our neighborhood. We communicable. We in our neighborhood. We don't own these businesses. We tired. We angry. We want to make something happen.
Yeah.
So what do? People say you're destroying your neighborhood. We frustrated. We try to destroy some economics. Now, whoever want to be opportunistic and get something out of it, you owe us 40 acres and a mule.
So anyway,
Hold on, let Donnell go.
But I'm gonna dispute what he's saying because, but when you go in your own neighborhood and you tell the Walgreens,
who up on the bomb?
you tell the CVS,
Who up on the bomb?
when it's all said and done, some elderly person is not able to get their medicine.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to, we gotta be strategically where if we gonna do it, we just can't do our own neighborhood.
Right.
But again though, bro, and I hear you. But again though, I believe this. That's what got the attention of the nation.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, if that don't take place,
Yeah, that's true.
if that don't take place, bro,
Then
it'll be another black man killed by a police officer. They probably wouldn't have got fired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You probably wouldn't have had
No,
you wouldn't have had.
No, it's not. It's not.
But no,
Go ahead.
So you telling me in order for us to get the attention, we have to tear things up?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes. Sometimes. Yes. I mean, it's sad to say. It's sad to say.
Give me this.
So those that's out there peacefully protesting, that's not the answer.
No, it's not.
Hold on, Shu.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Go ahead.
Because you
No. When I say no,
Because I
I
feel
say
like when you go to the rioting and all that,
There is a time for everything.
I understand. I agree with you 100%. But when you go when you protesting and then you go to the rioting, the attention is not on the peaceful protest. They more so concentrate and focus on the looting and the tearing up.
Well, that's those who want to focus on the negative. You know, people tell us what to argue. We so busy regurgitating what the people want us to regurgitate.
Yeah.
So they will take the one negative, an elderly person can't get her medicine. Instead of talking about if these police ain't killing your brother, we
Yeah.
won't have this problem.
yes.
So why we could keep diverting and regurgitating and changing the argument?
Right.
A lot of people, we're talking race relations, a lot of conservative, far-right wing whites, and even some of our, what we call sellout blacks,
Right.
you know, they like to change the subject. This whole thing started over an atrocity that plagues us too much.
Yeah.
Kumbaya hasn't been working.
No.
So now when something else happened, they want to divert the attention. Oh, grandma can't get us. No, he killed that man.
Right.
I'm not changing the subject.
No.
And in order to strike somebody's attention, sometimes you got to hit them in the
And
wall.
here's the key to that. Let me tell you something to that. So remember when my man Aubrey got killed by those
in line.
when he got tracked down by two white men and they killed him, right? They shot him running around, he jogging, and he got killed.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened after that?
Nothing.
That's it.
And that's what it was because it wasn't no uproar, bro.
Nobody said anything.
Nobody said nothing.
So we don't
Nobody
race
said-
relations.
nobody
Let's
said-
stay on top.
No.
That's it. I know that's race relations.
That's race
Yeah,
relations.
yeah, that's race
Nobody
relations.
said nothing. But it's so, but you know why? Because nobody saw it.
Yeah.
See, here's a difference when you can see the arrogance in a freaking guy with his knee on somebody's neck,
Yeah.
and the guy is arrogantly killing this man.
He could have smoked a cigar while he was on.
Yes, he could have.
He was so chill.
It was just they was able to see it. So you gotta, bro. Revolution brings you gotta fight. And what to give you a word of the Bible, real quick.
Okay.
Jesus said, or the word said, God said that I'm gonna give you a land flowing with milk and honey. Right? He said, I'm gonna give you a land that flows with milk and honey. But then he said, go possess it.
That's different.
It was giants on the land.
Yeah, absolutely.
So racism has been a giant in our community.
No, it is.
It is a giant in our community, in our world.
Yes.
If you really want to live, if you really want a world that is about peace, you want a world that is about respect. Racism is a giant that gotta get his butt whooped.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if his butt gets whooped because you got a Family Dollar right there and I'm pissed off and I throw a brick through your window, my bad.
Well,
sorry, I've been impressed.
What I'm saying is I'm kind of all over the place, but like I said, I don't see things in a small way.
Right.
What I tell my children is, think of revolution or rebellion in a 2020 way. My daughter's smart as hell. She don't miss on the intelligence.
Right.
But what I challenge her with and my son with is, come up with a plan for this. The biggest issue that's on the table in the entire world and life. You smart as hell, but what you gonna do about this?
That's good. What you got, G?
Now I wanted to chime in because State Farm over here, Brother Jake, good guy.
Hey, State
Brother
Farm, we
Donald.
are not using this. This is not.
This ain't your music,
This
State
is
Farm.
not
We on radio
insurance,
music.
right? Whatever we gotta say. This is a disclaimer. That is not Jake from State Farm.
There's no copyright. Yeah.
Brother Dre,
Yeah, no infringement, none of that.
Brother Dre, State Farm, Donnell, me. God made us all different. We're all unique. So we're expressing our viewpoints. And that's where the disconnect come in. The Bible says of thy getting, get understanding. If we really can learn how to understand the next person,
Absolutely.
then we can have a better conversation. Now, here, check this out. Speaking of conversation, there's two necessary components for effective communication. First, we must try to understand. And that's where the disconnect is. Some whites can't relate to what we go through. They don't see the stuff that we go through. They never see it, so they can't relate.
Right.
There's exceptions to every rule. So some people can go through the stuff we go through and fare fine. And some people would rather use that person that fared fine like he's the exception. No, we talking principle. We talking generalization.
So can they relate or do they refuse to relate?
Some of them both. Some of them refuse and some of them can't.
Right.
Because they don't really understand what we mean by white privilege.
But that's why when you see,
You know what I mean?
Well,
Because
that's why
they
when
can't
they saw
relate.
that video, this is what I saw a white
My
lady
turn.
wrote. When they saw that video, and he called out for his mama.
Yeah.
Man, that shit hurts my heart.
She said, listen what the white lady said.
That shit killed
It was a
me.
Caucasian lady. Man, we in the praise, baby. Y'all be cool. We in the praise, baby. So the white lady said, what she said was, when he called for his mamas, he called for me.
Right.
Because I'm a mom.
Right.
Yeah!
So
yeah!
he called every mom.
How not?
So
That shit crazy
And
as
his
fuck.
mama been gone for 2 years.
and his mama was dead. So he knew he was dying.
Right.
Right? So he knew he was dying.
He was
But
transitioning.
the thing is, to G's point is, we have to, now that we've got their attention, right? I want to steer this a little bit. We got their attention. What should we be doing right now? What should we do? How can we make a difference? Because it don't matter. We can have a conversation all day.
So you don't score.
Good job.
How can we provoke change?
But this is the change. This is the thing. I'm gonna just go off what Bob said.
Okay.
Because he said they don't know us, we don't know them, and the problem is communicate. It could be we all speak English, but trust and believe me, there is a communication barrier there. You understand what I'm saying?
Because of the lack of understanding.
And the thing is,
So what is it gonna take?
listen to me. Just listen to me, Jason.
Yeah.
If you watch those protests on TV, it's so many white people
Right.
that's at that protest.
They
Listen,
frustrated too. They recognize.
They see it now.
See what they see is
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
So they understand the frustration. I went past 103rd and Western yesterday. They had a protest on 103rd in Western yesterday.
Okay.
Everybody out there was white. I didn't see not one black person. And you know what they wrote up? You know what they had on the sign?
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Absolutely.
Praise
So
God.
and so when we get those white people.
Those are the ones
Listen.
who can understand a different
Yes.
perspective.
So when we get those white people to understand our pain.
Yeah.
You understand? They'll never get to nowhere, but they know it's frustration.
Yes.
Because if you was white or black, I'm gonna just be honest with you, and you seen that video, and it didn't touch you in no kind of way.
Right. Something wrong with you.
Whitey, go ahead.
Hold on.
Something wrong.
COVID had a big part of this whole thing. Nobody wants to lose that. COVID had a big part of it. Because COVID was going on, had people at home, which allowed them to see what's going on. This is the first time the whole entire nation
In the world.
was sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
Doing nothing. They wasn't running around getting the kids from school.
Yeah.
They wasn't worried about their job, how to get up, I gotta go to bed early. They had time to sit and watch TV and see what's going on, and they actually saw it for the first time. My co-workers, white,
You up, Jake?
two of my white workers they said, I see it. They said, I didn't see it before. I see it now.
So everybody was forced to pay
They were forced to pay
attention.
attention. Hold on, but it's also a combination of the COVID, they seeing this stuff along with, what's the lady's name in Central Park? Who fought the police on the white man, on the black guy? They're like, wow, they see it.
Right.
And then Aubrey, and then Floyd, all back to back.
We gotta remember Breonna Taylor too. So Breonna Taylor, that was big too.
All this happened at one time through this whole same time, same thing, and they saw it all together at one time.
Shit.
They finally saw it
Uh-huh.
up close and personal.
So now we got their attention.
Got their
And
attention.
now they on our side. Go ahead, son.
Some of them.
So you mentioned what's the next step?
Yeah.
We see that we have all these different races understanding that this is happening. But I think that these races, white, black, whatever, has to apply accountability to the people in control.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm living under your roof. This is your roof, your rules. I can't tell you how to change your rules. I can get my house and I can make rules in my own home. We have to put people in this home in our America with rules that applies to everyone equally.
So you just said something real powerful, because the next step is this. So what he's saying is we gotta hold our legislators accountable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the way that we do that, so first of all, we gotta make sure that you fill out your census form.
Yeah.
Listen to me, man. We have to we have to. We have to because
I never believed in that until you just stated it, but I'm going to listen to your point. I'm going to listen to your point, but I never believed in that until
what
you
it
just
does
stated
is this.
I'm gonna tell you what they say, and I'm gonna tell you what it does.
All right, well, go ahead, G.
No, you go ahead first, Drake.
Okay,
Just make that point.
my thing is we got to deal with the legislation. Now you could talk about conspiracy theorists all you want, but if you're not doing the research to especially these judges,
I think you are. Yeah,
and because those are the ones who make the laws. These state senators, these alder people,
I got the
we have to
really
really,
put that down.
we have to really pay attention to our legislators.
No, I didn't put that down there. You put it.
You know what I think?
Yeah,
though?
over there.
I think
so, Jay.
what would change things is the financial aspect of the whole thing. That would change things.
Listen,
They don't care other than that. They don't care.
I gotta say this.
Okay, go ahead.
You saying that we're gonna make a change. The change is, if you wanna make a change, the change is gonna be in the ballot.
It's the other way around.
Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. The change is gonna be in the ballot, because you think about this. We've been dealing with racism for a long time.
He let you out.
And you got politicians that's career politics. We gotta get rid of them.
Yes, we do.
Listen to what I'm trying
We
to
got to
tell
get
you.
their ass out of there.
They've been there. They ain't done nothing for us dealing with racism. So they've been there for years.
We just
The
talked
Mitch
about.
McCollum, they gotta go.
Yeah.
We need new breed. We need new breed
Yes.
out there
Yes.
that's gonna do something.
Let's
And I'm
take-
gonna tell you another thing.
let's take
Bernie
I'm
Sanders,
I'm
that's what
I'm-
Bernie Sanders is right at.
And
You gotta
this
get
is
the
why I'm
money
gonna
out
say
of
another
politics.
thing. We have to change.
Right. So how do you?
We
so,
let me, we have to change this. If the president of the United States only can run for 8 years, a senator or a Congress should only be able to run for 8 years.
Right.
I'm telling you, you have to put that term.
That's
They only
critical.
can live term.
That's
They only can be in there for a certain term.
Yeah.
Because when you start having them, because they don't see what we see.
No.
They don't see that
20, 30 years.
that root.
They
we
ain't
coming
feeling what
from.
we
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if we allow them to can't
The
continue
more
to
they
be in
rooted,
office,
the more rooted they are in
Yes.
the evil and the
Right.
corruption, and money
Absolutely.
corruption, the longer they
That's
live.
good.
Over time.
Every year, they learn how to manipulate the system.
Over time. That's critical.
That's the
I
first
believe
time
that.
I really. That's good.
Yeah, that
But
is
hey,
great.
but do we
That's
know
great.
this? We're not trying to deviate from the subject, but in race relations, do you realize that the only way you can succeed in politics in this country is if you subscribe to the current system that's in place? The only way, if you don't, you're not going to come in and buck the system. Everybody, before you can get that, you saw Trump doing an example. Everybody who lined up with what he said, they're funded. His Republican
Right.
money is being funded to him.
Right.
Anybody who comes in and try to disrupt the status quo, character gets assassinated. You know, so in order for you to succeed, in order for you to be that senator that's been there forever,
Yeah.
you got to be working with the people
Yeah.
who really run stuff.
You have to
And
see what's
in
behind
order
you.
for you to get there, you got to sell your soul.
Yeah.
So you got all of these politicians whose soul is sold for money. Money is the root. They all may start off with pure
All
motive.
the money.
But in
Over
order for me to
years,
continue to
decades.
get elected, I gotta let the people with the power who controls the media manipulation to be on my team. And in order for them to be on my team, my soul has been bought.
Yes.
And that's the problem on the
Yeah.
religious
I
side
believe that.
and the political side.
Yeah.
So the best thing you said was get them out of there.
Yes.
Because the
The longer he stays, the deeper it gets.
Yeah.
Look, so because look,
who got that 20?
we can talk about this all day, right? This is one of those subjects that we can talk about all day.
Yeah, we
But
can.
fortunately, our show,
Sit down.
we might be out of time. Right. So what I want everybody to do is, I want everybody to give me a closing remark. Just give me
So
some
the
final.
bogus play?
Jimmy's playing. I know y'all got y'all into the game. All right, but before we give our final remark, man, I want y'all to give me a tip, a domino tip for the day for those that need some help with dominoes. I know you got one.
I got one.
It's 7 dominoes. Tip number 1 is 7 dominoes.
It's $7.
You know how to count?
Tip number 2.
No, there's 7 numbers on dominoes.
Tip
And
number-
there's 7 of that number. You have to know that. There's 7 numbers. If there's number 0, there's 7 blanks. If there's number 1, there's 7 ones. You need to know that there's 7 of everything. That way, if you see 6 of them out there, you know the only one that's left.
Is
Tip
7.
number 1.
There you go.
All right. We'll
What's
need
yours,
to
Know how to count.
My tip's to learn how to add very well.
My tip is,
Add well.
my tip is you got to play to get better and win.
Yes, sir.
All right.
hey, my tip is, don't listen to that motherfucker that's talking at the table because he's just trying to throw you
Hey, look, so you got your tips. So you got your tips. You got your tips.
No, hey, white relations. White relations.
Let's hit him with that
Wait,
something.
White,
this is gonna be his
my closing
remark.
statement.
Go ahead.
White relations. I was saying it earlier, I didn't finish it. It's too effective. Now this is scholarly stuff, psychology. 2 effective means of communication. First, you have to try to understand. That is key. So many times, if 2 of us trying to communicate, we want our point to get across. So we're sitting there tapping our fingers, holding our breath so I can get my point across.
No.
Instead of number 1, the number 1 rule for effective communications is first try to understand. Truly, sincerely. then try to be understood. If race relations truly did that, instead of holding their point and ready to argue their point, the far right want to hold their point and argue their point. The far left want to argue their point and hold their point. The white want to argue. Black want to argue. If we truly try to understand, that's rule number one in everything for effective communication and race relations.
Well, so obviously because of because I'm a white guy, having opinions on this it's an uphill battle because there's nothing really that I can say that's I don't really know anything. I don't know anything. I know nothing about this. All I know is that I met Andre Turner Sr.'s son, about 6 or 7 years ago, and I met him in a backyard of a party that we were at, and we just started playing PlayStation together. There was a TV set up in the back, and we just started playing this video game together. I only talked to him a handful of times before that, and I never looked to my left while we were playing to see the skin color. I never thought, this guy that I'm talking to right now is a different color than me, and I can't talk to him about this, or I can't relate to him about this. It just never occurred to me. And I feel like if everybody just would listen and try to meet somebody of the opposite color than them, whether it's black or not, and just got to know them a little bit and just actually open themselves up to that opportunity, then none of this would have ever happened. Like that, I think constantly of that George Floyd, and I think of Andre, it's just, I couldn't imagine, it's just a horrible, horrible thing. And like, my mom and dad, they voted for Trump. And I never even voted, I hated the idea. And I thought they both were morons. And I heard my dad last week say the exact same thing that I just said. Like, I thought, wow. I imagined Andre under that man's name, and that broke his heart, and he said, we gotta get this guy out of this out of office, I don't believe in this, and it's just, it took that to show him that. Wow. And it's a tragedy that it took something so horrific and horrifying to show just a regular guy, that it shouldn't be a thing, So if we
let's give it up for Jake from State Farm.
Hey, my thing is just promote love. LOVE. That's it. Promote love.
Yeah.
Promote love.
That's the separation. Definitely ain't doing that.
Right.
All right, Donnell.
I gotta end man with this story. And I told you this story before.
Okay.
I went to the service, man, and that was my first time ever dealing with white people. I had never went to school with white people, slept, ate, never went with them. And when I went to the service, I was 19 years old. And I just could not get used to a white guy calling me a nigger. I stayed in fights. I used to beat them white boys' ass on a daily. But they didn't care because I got in trouble for it. And this one time I beat this white guy so bad, they had me pack up all my clothes, everything. You going back home? You're not. They told me I wasn't military material.
Wow.
And I had to go see the company commander. And the company commander told me, he said, let me tell you something. I know you're a good soldier. He said, let me tell you something. The white guys, they don't care about you giving them a big lip, a busted nose, a black eye. They just want to see you get in trouble. They don't want to see you succeed.
Right. Wow.
But he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you back to them barracks because you're going to graduate from basic training.
Wow.
And at that time, at 19 years old, I thought all white people was racist. This was a white man that gave me an opportunity to be where I'm telling you right now, he's a part of where I'm at right now today.
There you go. That's what's up.
I did go back